Stone Valley, 1898. We open on a dream. Your dream, Clarity. You see darkness, but you feel an immense pain. As your heart's beat rings in your eardrums, from the darkness, you see light. More lights than you can imagine. Countless and abound. They are the stars. You are among them. You recognize that you are dying. A sensation washes over you. Your heart calms. You catch your breath, but you feel no air. You hear no sound. Just pain and emptiness. You reach for something. Nothing in particular, but something. Only to realize that you have nothing to reach with. It doesn't sit right, and the panic returns. You pass a sphere, a globe, solid red, churning, swirls, deeper shades of red. A bright light blinds you. A star. A sun, perhaps, your own. The blindness resides. Color returns to your eyes. In front of you is a sphere filled with green, white, and the deepest of blue. Your breath becomes short. Fear overwhelms you. Sound returns, but it's your heart. Your body's overwhelmed with fear and fire, a deep agony. The green surface of the sphere glows closer and closer. Earth, closer, closer, closer. You see your house, where you sleep, your father's church, the town, and then the mine. Impact. Death. The cries of their families, the emptiness, the decay, all flash, but in an instant, you awake. Your eyes open to silence, and nothing but your own breath. It's morning. Cold. You hear the sound of your father stoking the fire in the living room. Next to your bed, you see 10 lit candles that were not there before. There's a loud boom in the sky. Clarity, are you okay?
Father,
your
what
father
was
comes running in to your room. He sees the candles. He stops. He looks down at you. He looks back up at the candles, and then a bright light overwhelms the room. You feel the ground shake beneath your feet. 1 year later, we're gathered at a town meeting at the church on the hill. Everyone except for Clarity are not currently at this function. Company man, Jason Geralt, stands before an angry mob of townspeople. This town is God-forsaken. Since the rock fell from the sky and closed the mine, which we've not been able to unearth, not without lack of trying, mind you. Livestock has continued to disappear. Disease run rampant, and it's not profitable. Hammer and Sons will no longer be the benefactor of Stone Valley. Effective immediately, all company executives are advised to collect their belongings and rendezvous outside the library for carriage to the nearest town. That will be all. And he immediately exits the stage as two men kind of walk and put themselves in front of him. If people in the crowd start throwing things, yelling wildly at him, it's very clear that he's worried for his safety as the entire town, or what's left of the town after the Great Impact, is throwing things at him. And as he runs out that back door, two large men with guns kind of move forward in front of the group. Do you all react in any way?
I'm still just watching. How do the crowd react to the mass react to?
Well, what he said has obviously caused a lot of discouraged feelings, and it's very clear that he knew what he had to say would be of his own safety's concern, and that's why he's hired two security men from the company to join him, as they are standing at the front of the crowd, and it's very clear people are getting very upset. And he's now just made his way out of the back door.
He's gone already.
He's gone out the back of the church, but the two men are kind of standing as people are throwing things, and their hands are kind of on their hips, close to their guns.
Well, are we going to stand for this? He's just going to leave the town and leave us with
What does this mean? Like,
nothing?
what does this mean for us? Like, what are we supposed to do?
Just can't let this happen again.
I mean, the company that owns this town just decided to...
I've run up to the two men that are there.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the way.
Roll.
That was so quick.
So
I mean, they've got
am I not supposed to make the rolls?
No, I mean...
Well, you don't have choices.
But... Good luck.
You could do it.
There is 2 sixes
Three.
and
3 6.
3 sixes and 1 1.
You have
So
5 hope
so you wanna
available.
use one
I want
hope.
to use
Yep.
one of them right now. And this is another 6. So
Nice.
that's 4 sixes.
So,
Good stuff.
one thing I forgot to mention to you two at the beginning of this. In the early game, you have a lot more power. You're a shared storyteller with me. As the game goes, I'll be rolling dice against you, but at the beginning, I have no dice to roll. I only take what you lose when candles go out. So, you, succeeding this roll, get to tell me what happens next.
And you can take your time and take your liberties to have exactly what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I'm talking to them, and they bars away, somebody throws something, and it causes a bit of a commotion. And in the commotion, I duck out and run out into the street, chasing after him.
You chase after the man.
Yes.
Okay, you catch up to him. As he hears you running behind him, he turns and he puts his kind of case in front of him, and he's...
It's okay. It's okay. I just want to know what are we going to do?
That's none of my concern, sir.
There's so many people left here that depend on this.
I understand that, but that's the agreement that you signed when deciding to work for the company, Hammer and Sons Incorporated. This was always a risk that you were willing to take upon taking this job.
Yeah, but there's some sort of something that we can do to...
That is not my concern. This is none of my concern. I am merely a spokesperson for the company. What you do now is completely up to you. Consider yourself a free man.
But... We've spent all our lives here, some of us.
I understand that. It changes nothing. What do you want from me? I can give you nothing. There's nothing I can say that will make you feel better in this instance.
There is something that you can do for compensation, or...
What compensation? Would you like some more script? I can give you more script. Here, he pulls out of his pocket script, the company's own form of currency, and throws it on the ground in front of you. Fine, take it, but I must be leaving.
This is not what I thought this meeting was going to be about. I pick it up knowing that it's worthless, because if they're leaving the town, then I quickly pocket it, and I go back to see what's happening.
I'm going to check in really quick with Reginald and Henry, who are inside the town hall. As Frederick ran out the back door after the man, somebody, like you said, somebody threw something to create this kind of distraction. Those two men now both have their guns out and are pointing them in the air, threatening to take action if people don't calm down. Why don't you tell me what you two are doing?
I have my hands up, first of all.
Okay.
Just trying to calm the situation down. Please, we don't want any bloodshed here. Just tell us what you want us to do. What are our options?
The two men, I don't give a good goddamn what you do with your life.
Well, how are you getting out of here?
The two look at each other, and they start backing towards the back door. As they do so, a man that you know as Shiloh Anah, kind of moves himself to the front of the group, and he's the current preacher in training. He's shadowing the priest of the town. Him and his daughter moved here about a year and a half ago, about 6 months before the Great Impact.
Okay.
And he kind of puts himself in between them and up in front of the group. He's very clearly trying to immediately calm everyone down as he puts his hands up, and a couple people even hit him with some things and he doesn't react to it. He allows them to hit. I understand. I understand that we all have reason to be alarmed. I understand. Please, everyone, please. I'm not your enemy. I am like you. I, too, came here for the company, to work for the company. But we must not lose faith. Okay? So just calm. We can discuss this as civilized members of this town.
So what do we do? Huh? We got these worthless pieces of paper now, and they're just leaving. We're gonna.
Yeah. What about the?
We're gonna starve. We got
no money. Without the company, what are we supposed to do with money? I can't even. What am I supposed to do with this? As he takes a coin out of his pocket, this man in the crowd, and throws it to the ground.
I pull out all the scripts in my pocket. I just rip it.
I do.
What are we gonna do?
Please. We can at least maintain some form of currency regulation, at least until goods run out.
Until goods run out, indeed.
I mean,
How long will that be?
we need to just.
We need to come up with a plan. We need to come up with some sort of idea on how to move forward, because if like myself, which I'm assuming you all are, we've got nothing else. And I could not even afford to take my daughter to another town. But as we knew when we all agreed to this.
We didn't know this was going to happen.
No, we did not. But it was a risk. And it's a risk we all took for stability, for a chance at a future. No, I haven't seen many of you at the church in a long time. And I can understand that. I understand that there are many hurt people by the loss of their loved ones. And I'd like to take this moment to kind of give a layout of the room. The majority of the people in this council meeting are women, as their husbands, significant others were lost in the mines on the day of the Great Impact.
Mm-hmm.
The only men left alive were those who worked outside of the mines and specialty jobs around the company town.
How big is the town in general? How many approximately?
And that of Frederick, who was supposed to be working that day, but was not in the mines for some reason.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Really, what are we going to do? We're going to starve?
I believe God has a plan for Stone Valley. I do. Since the rock fell from the sky, we've not had rain. Not once. The clouds have parted over this valley, and the crops still grow. Just last week, grapes were spotted growing on the east side of town. Here, we haven't had a snow. Our winter last winter was extremely mild. I take that as a sign. You hear a voice from the end of the back of the room, a woman. Did God also kill my husband? So we could have sunshine? Man, I understand that we're all afraid. And we can't let fear get the best of us, okay? With faith, we can pull through this.
Well, we become some barter town where we just trade goods with each other.
It's a fine lifestyle if we can make it work. I mean, these company towns were built on that principle alone to be a utopia, a worker's utopia. We all have skills.
Mine relies primarily on the coal.
Yes, I understand.
This isn't going to work by faith alone.
It has to.
Well, when everyone starves and this town turns into chaos, then what? Huh? We come to your God.
Why do you assume that the town will result to chaos? We are all civilized people here. I mean, let's for a moment think of the good the company brought us. It brought us the church. It brought us your doctor's office, your blacksmithing practice. It brought us a structure before then, just a mere 5 years ago. And no offense to anyone in this room, but we were merely a brothel and coal miners, and they are... that was insensitive, I'm sorry. I understand they are not... The miners are not with us, and I pray for their safe passage every day.
Is the mine damned to eternity? Can we not dig out this giant rock?
With who? With the women here?
It would be safe to assume that if the company felt they could get through to the mine, they would have stayed. It's been a year.
That's why they left.
Yeah.
It's been a year, and we're no longer profitable.
Look, the company left because they knew what was going to happen, okay? This town is doomed.
Frederick, you come back into the room to see now people calm down and listening to Shiloh standing at the top of the pew.
Frederick, what did he say?
We are all screwed.
Exactly. Well, what do we do? We can't leave this town. We don't have any currency to pay to even get out. What do? We just march on out? We can't just... then we have nothing. We've got...
And I only have about 2 months' worth of coal in my shop.
Well, we, for now, can trade between each other, our skills, our services. You know, there's... Many of the women in the town have started, putting up their...
For how long?
And
how long are we gonna just manage and get by until when? No one's gonna come in here.
I doubt the entire town can use mining equipment from me.
Well, but we all need fixtures and
I've already made all those.
We can increase production on carriages and possibly create some sort of a trading route.
Carriages? I'm open for that.
Something there has to be.
You say that you want to talk about usefulness, but I question what usefulness you would bring to this town.
Exactly. No one, like you said, no one visits church anymore. You might have to get out on the fields and harvest some.
If that's what I need to do.
Everybody needs faith, especially.
Oh, you're not here, by the way.
Fuck.
You're not here. You're in another place.
Damn.
Yes.
You were saying?
I
And what do you do now? I mean, like...
I am willing to pick up in the fields if I need to. I am willing to saw wood if I need to. But I have faith
Who is tending
that
those
God
grapes?
has a plan.
How
for
long
this
do we
town.
wait for this plan? Huh?
We are not
And like
able
you said,
to just ask God questions
no one
like
comes
that.
to your
That you
church-
have to have faith.
I don't think many people have faith right now, or else, like you said, they would be at church.
Well, I believe in time they will find it. I really do. And I believe very soon. And as he says this, he kind of looks down and away. And I must get back to the church and I check in on Father Devon. I'm sorry. We will continue this. Just please have faith. So we cut to the impact crater. Overlooking the town on the top of the hill. It's a large impact crater where the mine once stood. Standing at the edge of the crater is Clarity. Clarity and awe. Clarity, you find yourself coming up to this crater often lately. As you believe it speaks to you. Voices coming from the mines. Now, you've told no one about this, no mention of it to your father, but it's been increasing as it gets closer to the 1-year anniversary of the event.
Help, please. I'm here. Down, here. I just need you. I just need you. Your help. You can hear me, can't you? I feel you up there. Again and again. But why won't you help me?
How can I help you?
By letting me out. We're still down here.
You're trapped.
Yes. Trapped.
I must get help.
Yes. Help. We're trapped. Here.
I'll tell Father.
Yes. Tell them.
Okay.
Here.
Don't
Help.
worry. It'll be okay.
I know. Because of you. You help.
Okay. I run back to town.
So you run down. As you run down this hillside, many of the trees' tops have been blasted off from the impact. But in this strange kind of way, there's this clear dividing point that you pass. The dirt and debris all pushed up against the side of the mountain, and then within a cross of a path, the green continues. It's as if the blast contained itself. No one's ever questioned this. Nobody really wanted to. The company spent many months up there digging, trying to get to the mine, trying to pull all the people, the town, out. It was morning when that rock hit, killing everyone inside. So you make your way quickly down the side of the hill. As you do, you see a group of carriages leaving the town as you're making your way down the hill. And you see a lot of people kind of dispersing from the church, moving out across the town, moving back to their houses and things like that as you make your way down to your house. As you go inside, you see your father in your room as he's praying in front of the tin candles.
Father, I'm so sorry to interrupt when you're speaking, but...
Clarity, yes.
No, you have to stop everyone leaving. We need people to help. I think there's still people trapped in the mine. I think they're alive. I could hear someone.
Clarity, hold on. You hear people in the mines?
Yes, I heard people. I thought I'd heard people before, but I wasn't sure. But I spoke to them today. They say they're trapped. We have to stop people leaving town so we can dig them out.
He's embracing you, squeezing you tight, looking at your face, trying to see any sign of what he would consider a tell. You're sure you heard someone in the mines, Clarity?
Yes, Father, I'm not lying. I would not lie to you.
Clarity, this happened a year ago, and as he says this, he hears himself say a year, and he turns and looks over his shoulder back at the tin candles, still lit, with not an ounce of wax dropped since they showed up on that stoop 1 year ago. I believe you.
Thank you, Father. How do we help them?
I don't know. I tried today. I tried to tell them of the importance of accepting God back into their lives, and I'm nervous, Clarity. They have little faith, and I'm nervous they will not understand, and I debate with myself constantly that if I show them this act of God, this sign, that they'll see it as a farce, or worse, you as... I can't have them not believing you.
Well, they will believe me if we go down there and they hear it too. It was loud. It was not a whisper, Father.
Okay. Just let me do the talking, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
We have to help them.
Before that happens, let's check in. Frederick, what are you doing right now? As you've dispersed, what's going on?
So are people that are leaving, is they're going back to where they live?
Yes, and generally people are very upset, obviously,
Yeah.
and those carriages try to get out of town as quickly as possible, and you realize that a lot of what was said to save face a little bit, as the people who were executives for the company were already on those carriages and ready to go.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go to Reginald, who I know is the town blacksmith. And as we're grab you as we leave. I do not know how to say this, but I do not fully believe that everything in this town will be as the preacher thinks it will be. I have seen things like this happen before, and I need you to do me a favor. Yeah?
Okay.
Your shop, how secure is it?
Pretty secure. I can make locks.
And do you have any sort of things that people could get or take that would be used for ill?
Many implements, yes.
So I think we should go and make sure that they are all still there.
Well, I locked up before I left, but I agree.
Good.
Do you want to
There's-
follow me?
Yes, so I think supplies would be good to make sure that those are safe. There's one... Oh, Henry, one moment of your time, please.
Sure, I was just going to go back to my clinic.
Oh,
what?
good. No, so we are on the same page. I think that between the two of you and the store, which we should probably make sure that nothing is misplaced or taken in this time where currency doesn't mean shit.
So you mean looting? You think people are going to...
Not there yet, but you have medical supplies that will be of great importance. I think, in the times to come.
You think people are gonna possibly break in and take my medicines and
No, I
elixirs?
believe that, as the pastor says, is completely true, and we'll live in a fancy utopia for all of
You're
time.
right. No, you're right.
So, where do you three head first?
Well, my shop is at the north end of town.
Sure.
Now, this town, I should probably let you guys know, it's in a valley, a deep valley with mountains surrounding it on all sides. There's one river that comes through the town, kind of at a bend, and there's one makeshift bridge that kind of separates the town into two parts. One side of the town was reserved for merely the company executives, and that is where they made their exit, whereas the other
Have
side
they
of the
already
town-
gone?
Yes. Their carriages left.
And is the river water
collecting you
clean?
all? Yes.
Okay.
Collecting you all in the church was a way to give them a clean exit.
Did you say that the most of the population of the town are mainly women now? Is that what you said before?
Primarily women.
Okay.
I'd say about 80%.
Wow.
There are not many that have jobs.
Yeah.
High-ranking positions still are all currently the men that were brought in from the company to run the businesses to help keep the miners happy are currently all the business owners, but women in the community have started picking up a lot of the jobs left behind.
And you think, what, the women of the town are going to come and riot?
That is a possibility, I think. You just never know when... tell me, Henry, how many times have you truly starved? You truly felt hunger in your belly? Yeah?
Never.
To drive a person to do things that they would not in a normal time. And there are a lot of people here that have a complicated history, and there are times when I wonder how easy it is to push everyone over the edge.
Then perhaps we need to all meet again under and decide what we're going to do. If we're all going to separate and do our own thing, of course, things, personal resources will dry up, and it could lead to that. But if we need to go forward from here, I think we really need to organize a plan and decide who's gonna.
You hear a woman from behind you say, "I agree," as you turn and see Anna Hillary, a prominent fixture in the town. She's one of the lead organizers in the town, as she walks up into your group. So what are we discussing today, boys?
We're discussing the idea of a plan, of what the plan should be. Basically, if we all decide to go back and try to live like we have been, it's not going to work out. And we need an organized, like I was saying before, people might have to do work, like the priest. He might have to help.
I think we should all double up our efforts.
Yeah, we need to decide who does what.
I think best course of action then would possibly be to figure out who's going to make those kinds of decisions.
Well, we could
that should be up to a town vote for sure. We finally have a chance at democracy here to form our own city government. I see this as a great opportunity.
You too.
Regardless, we do need that meeting and to decide who to possibly lead and who decides what to do what. But we do need another town meeting, I think. We're all
I would agree with you.
Do we give them a day?
I mean, why not now? We were scared that people were gonna.
I think we're gonna have to get on it pretty quickly, considering there's already been discussion from Baby Riley of reopening the brothel now that the company's out of
Anna,
town.
why don't you tell your circles, the women of the town? We'll meet at the church again. Was it the church where they met before?
Yes.
Okay. Let's meet back at the church.
Yes, we'll go ahead and spread the word. We'll meet back at the church later tonight. I think that's a great idea.
All right. Sounds
You are, Doctor, as usual, a great asset to this community.
Just before dusk, then.
good. Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Spread the word.
Will do.
And please, let's try to make sure that people keep their heads about in this kind of situation, right?
That's what this meeting is for. Just make sure everyone keeps their heads on them.
Nothing to fear, nothing to worry about.
Indeed.
Let's keep it that way.
Okay.
And don't even think about bringing alcohol back into this.
We'll discuss that at the
It
meeting.
needs to be said.
Like you said, it's going to be a democracy, is it not? So maybe we put that up to a vote.
Well, I think it's only natural that we put some sort of council in place to help make these decisions. And
We could decide that first, yeah. And then to go forward and then individual issues like
Do
that.
we not have a council already?
No, the company. In these company towns, there were no councils. There were no local governments. The local government was the CEO of the company. They were able to dictate your wages, your living conditions. There was no regulation on this. It was just, if you took the job, you live in their world.
Then the meeting we had was just a town meeting.
It was
just
a full town
yeah.
meeting.
Okay.
Everyone called in.
We can decide a council as one of the first orders of business. But till then, let's spread the word, make sure everyone's okay, and do that.
Yes. Yes. So she walks away from the group of three of you and leaves you to yourselves again.
Which direction does she leave?
She just goes towards the opposite side of town and is talking to people as she walks and kind of telling, you see her just talking to people.
Are we happy?
Oh, was them trying to get back in charge? I don't think so.
No. Just, are we happy for the meeting tonight? Or do you think that there needs to be discussion about... Speak your mind.
My only concern is that I don't know if you remember the time before the company arrived, but it was harsh and it was chaotic. But there are certain things that happen when the company took over, and the empowering of certain people and their views. Not saying that I have any issues with that, but I also take certain affronting to the fact that you're trying to tell me how to live my life.
Right.
It starts with the
I see what
alcohol,
you- yep.
and then it goes to other things. And if this truly is a democracy, then it should be fine. But I have
Okay.
questions on how this is going to go.
We'll bring that up at the council.
Well,
then.
let's decide at the... Like I said, the first order of business will be deciding the council. And once that's in place, through democracy,
Make talking points.
bring up what you need to bring up, Frederick. But
So what do you guys do? Where are you going to go? Are you going to go now?
I was heading over to the north end of town to my shop.
So let's say you were walking and talking.
Sure,
If you're headed that
sure,
direction. So
sure.
you get to your shop. You notice that the door is open.
You said you secured it quite well. That's what you
Can
said.
you roll for me?
Oopsie.
we got...
1-1 and no sixes.
Out of
I do have a hope.
Now you have 6 hope available from the chat.
How many
So
dice do you think
you can re-roll
Yeah.
as many as you want?
Yeah, how many dice do you think you need to roll a 6? And without...
Don't, as I said, don't fuck me right now.
How many do you think you need to roll a 6? Yeah.
At least a 6. Let's go with 3.
I said, don't.
Now, be aware.
yeah.
When you choose how many you're going to roll with, especially in the early game, that's your choice. And I will not let you then roll again if you
don't get it.
don't get it.
Understood.
You will just fail.
But it might be worth saving hope for dire situations.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's just.
Could be die.
at
mean-
least the 1.
Oh yeah,
At
at
least-
least the fun. Yeah.
Okay.
No. I mean,
maybe
if you
try
want... If
2
you,
at least.
if you wanted 3, just say 3.
I'm thinking the worst case scenario is someone booby trapped your own shop if you
Yeah,
roll
but
nothing good.
That's the
Doesn't
worst.
that
But later
also-
it could be like you have hands
Don't
around
give
your
them
neck.
ideas.
Well, I'm just saying.
Worst case
It could
scenario.
2.
Okay.
I just have a
Whoa.
question,
You're
though.
you're gonna take
Someone
2
could-
dice.
So just for clarity's
Should've moved
sake,
my mic.
yeah.
Mhm.
If he
clarity.
fails this again, then this
Chapter ends.
chapter ends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something
And we're
bad
going
happens.
to lose another dice.
And I'll remind you when it ends, I take over story for a little bit and I describe how you fail and what
And
happens.
usually it's bad.
Yeah.
You do want to try to
I'm
save
doing it.
every candle.
with 2?
Okay.
So
I'm
how
doing
many?
it. Just 2.
Just 2.
Like it right in the middle.
Oh.
Here's the 2. Thank you for the hope.
So 1.
I would like to
Wait, if it's a 1,
remind
There's a
everyone.
1 and a 4.
he could roll his... Whatever.
No,
Technically, if it's a 1, he could burn his trait.
But it's just for 1
That's
die.
an option.
Yeah, so don't.
It usually
Yeah.
is just for 1/1.
Oh, I guess. Why are you looking at me so intensely?
I'm just saying you have 4 more hope, and you guys chose not to use it, so that's hilarious to me.
Well, because we can. I don't know.
So
They
things
talked me
things can only
into-
get better from here, I think. So it's fine.
I mean, I have to take it, right? I can't.
You
could burn
you
a
could literally
trait.
burn a trait
You
to
can
reroll
burn
that
your
1.
virtue, or is it your vice, which is first? Virtue first. Virtue, then vice.
You could burn it and reroll that 1.
Right
Resilient.
now. You know what?
Well, if you're about to be attacked by a bunch of your own
Yeah.
weapons,
You know what?
resilience.
Let's do it.
Oh my god!
Let's do it.
Okay.
Burning it.
So,
Reginald, burning his virtue.
you, in these dark times, with all this uncertainty in front of you,
Oh my God, he's burning it.
you feel this resilience that you share, that you've held on to for so long, start to drift away as you feel a weakness growing inside you.
This show smells good.
Roll.
You could do it. We believe in you.
Believe yourself.
Blow it. Blow it. Blow it. 3.
Wasn't a 1 though. We
Wasn't
kept the
a
die.
Oh.
Something.
Well,
No, you
we
don't.
take 1 out when
The
it
candles
was
don't.
9
yeah.
candles.
Well, there would have been 2 die we would have lost, no?
That's not
Well,
how
when
that
it,
works.
no, when it, 9, we have as many dice as
I'm
we have
16.
candles.
I don't know math. Have I ever been to school?
So, you see the door to your shop open.
Oh. Sorry, Gil.
As you pause for a moment and make eye contact with the others, they realize that something's not right, and you slowly start to work your way in. As you walk inside your shop, you see the body of Preacher William Devon. His throat slit, blood stained into your wood floors. On the ground next to him is one of your fire pokers. The rest, you two, come in behind him. You see the body. You see his tools on the ground next to him. You usher them inside and close the door behind them. A candle goes out.
You can do it, Gil, because you killed it.
You just turn it upside down. Yeah. There were no truths
What the hell?
to dictate the next volume.
I'm
Only
on my
9.
knees.
Well, one moment. There are 9 candles remaining. For hope, you go back up to 9 dice in your communal dice pool.
Nice.
Hold for a sec. We just had a truth come in.
Oh,
Ah,
nice.
thanks.
Discovery.
Perfect place.
I'm gonna have to modify one of these.
Can we hear it anyway?
Well, they only gave 5, so they've got a ways to go on it. So if somebody completes it, I'm gonna have to modify it. They're trying to say that Henry's wife is a Wiccan healer, and that's a secret to your success as a doctor. I wouldn't allow that one because that's not how this world works. It's not necessarily. Yeah, we could modify that to say that your wife is actually the practice doctor, and you're just a ruse, and she's your nurse.
That's cool.
That works.
Yeah. Do you want to just go with that?
Well, they haven't completed it yet.
Okay,
That was
okay,
just
okay.
$5
So we need
towards it.
15 more.
If someone else finishes that,
And feel free to give a name if you want.
okay, hold on. There's a couple things coming in here.
Vetting process is happening.
I'm gonna have to modify this too. Okay, guys, remember, listen to the story we're putting down. Follow that story. I'm trying to be as clear as I can, so if I mess things up, I'm sorry, but okay. So we got a GM power that came in.
Ooh, nice.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm gonna have to modify it. So I'll bring this up in a little bit, but I will have to modify it because we did say that you were a minor that for some reason was not in the mines
Yeah.
that day. So there's a survivor guilt there, which is a big part of your character, and we can't just take that away. So we'll modify that a little bit. Discovery. Clarity finds a trunk that her father used to stash some dried food, some of the more valuable relics from the church, and a shotgun. It seems he had been preparing for the company to leave the town for some time. That's how you interpret it, possibly. You wouldn't know that from that, but you could interpret it
That's
that
a
way.
really good discovery. Thank you for that.
Nice.
So if someone finishes the one about your wife, I'll let you know, but for now it goes unfinished.
Just fine.
And we'll bring up, you know what, I'll go ahead and give you this one, just for you though.
Okay.
Oh, can't hear
We
anything.
can't hear anything.
Okay, so hold on. This is interesting. I misread this a little bit because of the name. My dyslexia got the best of me. I saw the J and I thought it was your name.
Oh, ja, Jägers.
Okay. No, this is different. I'm sorry. This is different. I'm sorry. This is different. I need to figure this out differently. I gotta write this in. A little bit different.
I hear nothing.
Okay, so I'll have to bring that in. Okay. Okay, so Gaika, I see now what you're saying. I misread that, so I'll bring that in later. Okay. So, if we are ready, we begin chapter 2. Clarity, your father's hands return to your shoulders. Just remember, I'll do the talking, okay? Just let me handle this. And as he says that, you see over his shoulder, a candle goes out. These candles have been lit for the last year, unmoving, unwavering, and it just went out.
Father,
Yes.
I have a worry.
Why would I like I said, I'll handle the talking. If anyone thinks anything ill of you, they'll think it came from me.
I don't think I'm worried about myself. It's a feeling in my stomach. But I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, I would keep that to yourself as well, honestly. Not something to be shared.
Okay.
We don't want people assuming anything.
What? Is something wrong with me, Father?
No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. We just don't want people assuming, those that don't understand, who are quick to judge. Okay?
The faithless, I understand.
Yes. Yes. So, we can... I think it's time I share, so...
Yes, we have to.
Yeah. So he grabs your arm, or your hand, and starts to lead you out the house. And as he exits the house, he's greeted by... sorry, let me get the name here. It didn't come in as a GM power. And I apologize, guys. When they come in as partial, I can't see them on the manager page. I have to scroll through Streamlabs to find them, and it takes me a little bit. So it's just a little bit of extra work, but it's not a big deal. You run into Edgar Jenkins as he's standing at the edge of the door. Mighty fine speech you had up there, Shiloh. You can feel your father's hand kind of tighten against yours a little bit. Yes, Edgar. Yes, it wasn't a speech. It was just trying to keep people, civil. Yeah, I know what you were doing. I see right through that. Nice to see you again, Clarity, by the way. Did I see you running down from the mines earlier today? You running mighty fast.
Father,
Yes.
what should I say?
You were running through the woods
It's
like
a
a
nice
child.
day for a run.
She was running through the she's a young girl. She's
I like to feel the wind in my cape.
the wind in your cape.
Mm-hmm. Do you not enjoy such pleasures?
You're old enough to wed. You might want to start acting like a woman and not a child. So Shiloh, your little grandstanding might have impressed the others, but be aware we are calling for the forming of a council, some sort of democracy. And I expect the church to remain out of it. Oh, well, if the...
My father's a very wise man, and he's very kind, and if anyone were to be put...
That's just... Know your place. What my daughter's trying to say is... We'll see what the town thinks. Okay? Shiloh. Clarity. There's a meeting later, back at the church, of course, so there'll be a vote to be held. Goodbye. As he walks away from the two of you.
Was he threatening us, Father?
No, just... He's an asshole. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I don't like it when men talk about you that way.
I'm almost used to it. It's disgusting. But I think we should find people that will help us with the problem. We have to help someone.
We can bring it up at the meeting tonight.
Okay.
So, maybe for now, just... Why don't you take me up to the mine in the meantime and show me these voices you've been hearing? Okay?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I think that's...
And if they hear you, then maybe they'll feel better that help's coming.
Okay, yes. Well, lead the way.
Okay. If
So-
you run, it'll billow your cape.
Run along and I'll catch up.
Okay.
So you run off. We cut back to the blacksmith shop.
First, do we see the
The body on the floor.
well, the
with
blade?
this-
No, the blade that he cut was whoever's cut his throat. You said it was.
It's a tool. It's a fire poker. It's a long
Oh,
metal
okay, that was
rod.
the thing that also cut his
Yes.
throat. Okay. It looks like it's already begun.
There is something that you wanted to tell us, or
I did not do.
If he did
you
this,
said that you locked it up?
if he
and
if he did do this, he wouldn't invite us back to his blacksmith, and he wouldn't let us in. Have you thought about that?
I'm on my knees, like I mentioned before. I'm just.
There's no way he would let us inside.
I
He
look around,
invited us.
though.
He invited us back in.
The,
Unless there's something you want to say.
the blacksmith shop has a lot of dirt on the ground. Are there any footprints that are not my own beyond the preacher, Father Devon's?
One moment here. Henry,
Can't hear anything. It's so annoying.
you are not actually a doctor.
Gotcha.
You're a sham. Your wife is the one who practiced,
Mm-hmm.
and she is your nurse back at the clinic,
Mm-hmm.
and she handles all of those kinds of things. So in this situation, you'd be pretty worthless.
Yep.
So you are a fraud.
Gotcha.
Yes, but you knew the company would not have hired your wife, so
Gotcha.
you decided to make this little charade, okay?
Gotcha.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah. I believe that someone else has come in here. Obviously, he would not... We know Gil, he's not that stupid to invite us in, right? But why...
I'm looking around for anything, any kind of sign of I mean, obviously the doors are open.
Yes.
The lock has been cut, has been hammered, has been what?
Well, I need you to roll.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I did too, a while ago.
So that's 9 dice.
God, okay. Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
5.
Yeah.
There is a 1.
Just
You
roll
have
it.
8 hope available.
Get
If you'd
rid-
Yeah,
like
roll
to
it.
You know
reroll
what?
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
done.
just...
Easy.
Any
It's a 5.
Nice!
Now you could take
So-
your time
Very
and
nice.
say...
What
Yeah.
do you find in the room,
Okay.
and what does it look like?
Take
the
as much
scene?
detail as you want, so we can catch this person.
I immediately look to the ground. There is a lot of broken granite that I use, the dust granite that I use for my flooring of my shop. And I look at the footprints that I leave behind. I look at the preacher's boots, and I see that there are 3 sets of footprints. The third set of footprint has a spur.
Huh.
And I know that there are several cowboys in town.
Should have just said one.
So I take a look at that. I take a note of the size. I take a note of...
I'm gonna add to that.
Mhm.
The only cowboys in town were the 2 security.
Oh.
Indeed.
Dang.
Those are the only 2. The company men
Yeah,
that would have
okay.
left. 2 of those 2, most likely one of them would have had spurs.
They're... Weren't they on their way out?
They were on their way out.
So they're...
They must have done it between you leaving and seeing them.
Right. I mean, that they're not that far away.
The preacher was not at the event, if you remember.
Yeah.
Correct.
But it happened along.
Could have happened earlier.
So who could have...
I let the other 2 know.
Wow, okay.
All right. Henry, you believe me, right? I could have done this.
Look, I don't see any reason to doubt what I see at face value. We see the
Okay.
footprints, we see... I mean, like I said...
Take a closer look. Please, just come down. Both of you.
Gil, you have
He's
nothing
dead.
to worry.
There's nothing to... he's-
Reginald.
Reginald.
Sorry, Reginald.
Reginald Gil Butner. Yes, I
Reginald, you have nothing to worry. We see it was those men.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right.
But,
I see dead bodies all the time. We just, you know,
yeah,
obviously-
we all do sometimes.
I'm just saying as a doctor it happens. So, but I mean, like this. Obviously, it was the deed of those men that were at the meeting. Okay, we see. Yeah, you showed us the spurs. I don't see any other reason. I mean, to argue with what we see.
Okay. Okay. Then, I mean, what do we do though? We can't just leave the body here. Do we tell the rest of them?
And that device that's next to him is what killed him? In your medical experience?
Of course, why not? It's the murder weapon's right there.
Is it bloodied? And does
What-
it look
what
like
do
he's
we do
been
with the
stabbed?
body? Do we tell?
It's the,
do we
the-
tell?
The
do we
fire
tell someone?
poker is what killed him, correct? That's what you said earlier.
It's what's on the
It was
ground.
next
Oh,
to
okay.
him.
It's covered in blood.
It's covered in blood.
It's on the
Is-
ground. It's covered in blood. What
is-
deduction would you make from that?
I'm gonna look at the body.
You did say that the throat was slit, yeah? So how do you slit someone's throat with something that you poke with?
Okay.
The guy, those cowboys had knives on them. Of course they did. If they had guns, they had knives.
Then we need
Knife, throat, put it back and poke. Walk out, spurs, footprints.
Yeah.
Really, there's nothing more to argue besides what you see.
to. Now, how do we convince the rest?
You
of the
hear a
town?
knock on the door.
Do we?
You hear the voice of Edgar.
I close the door.
Reginald. Reginald.
Why are you acting like boys? I open the door.
Come on, blacksmith. Oh, Henry.
I close the door behind me.
You see you walk out
Yeah.
and close it. Henry, shouldn't you be at your practice?
Just hanging out with some of the boys talking about tonight's meeting.
Oh, so you've already been informed of the meeting.
We were the one who decided upon it.
Oh, you decided upon a meeting, Doctor.
We need some organization in this town.
I agree. So can I ensure that I'll have your vote?
And why would you have my vote? Sorry, who is Edgar in the town? What does he do?
He runs the general store.
Shit.
I believe we...
Look, it's of no secret that my establishment is going to be quite important in the coming months. And I would really like to have a voice in what is to happen with that establishment moving forward.
Well, I believe we're moving forward with a system of barter right now. Your system of general store is going out.
Oh,
With
but
all-
someone needs to be in charge of that barter. He needs to broker it, to keep it moving.
What makes
And
it...
what better than... Look, can I speak to the blacksmith, please?
I hear that on the other side of the door, right?
Yeah.
I open it. I close it as well.
Reginald,
Edgar.
are you okay? You look quite sweaty.
I was just getting my shop organized.
Right. I was just informing the good doctor here that, as you know, there's a vote coming up later. And I would appreciate your support. I will be throwing my name in the hat for the supposed council that will be forming.
What do we know of Edgar? Because he sounds like a bit of a...
An asshole?
Yeah, is he that... What is the personality type of Edgar? Do we know?
Can't tell.
I mean, it's not important. We'll roll with it. I'm just getting...
He was not really of much importance in the community until after the Great Impact. And after the Great Impact, he's kind of risen up in the ranks of the community to be of a much greater importance.
Okay. Yep. Let's go. Well, like I said, we'll be going off a system of democracy, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, I guess we'll see what happens. But I can ensure your support, right? I understand the value of someone like yourself in a community like this. You're going to be quite important in the coming months, and I'm not sure many others would understand that.
Well, just so you know, Edgar, I was thinking of putting my name in the hat too, as a doctor, as the town doctor. I'm most educated probably here, and I know everyone on a very personal basis from dealing with everyone's ailments. I know a lot of the town personally.
Right.
I too was going to throw my name in the hat.
I'm just on the other side being noticed.
So you're both going to be running.
It sounds like it's just going to be a good old democracy fashion, and we'll see who wins out.
Well, I guess I've said what needs to be said here then.
Have a good day.
Good day.
And if you see your friend, I saw you speaking to him earlier, the German fella, question for you two. Is he a Catholic? I've been quite curious, and I've noticed him not attending church since he arrived here, and...
Well, have
I've been a
any
bit
of us
busy myself.
been attending lately? You yourself?
I mean, if we had any Catholics in the mix, you'd bring it up with the council, correct?
I don't think it's my place.
Look, the last thing a
Mine
good
neither.
Protestant town needs is somebody bringing hell on our doorstep, so keep that in mind.
Understood, Edgar.
Well,
Thank you.
See you
day.
at the meeting.
Good day.
good day.
I
He
take a look
walks
at his feet. I want to see the size of that foot. I'm not going to bend down, obviously, but I'm going to look at it.
You said the only people with spurs would have been the Cowboys that left,
Yeah, he
right?
doesn't have spurs,
I know.
but roll,
Oh.
I guess.
How many hope do we have?
7.
You have 1, 6,
How many
and 2
die do you need
ones.
to re-roll? Do you want to maybe?
Oh,
just throw
that's
any
not
dice?
that's not a bad roll. Just use reroll the 2 ones. You got the roll succeeded. You got a 6, so you're fine. You just
Okay.
reroll the ones.
All right,
Yeah.
I will take
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
I'll take 2.
How many did you say?
We had 7. Just took
The roll
2.
succeeded.
Thank you so much for the hope.
Yeah, thanks for the hope.
Yes.
Saving
goes.
us.
Oh, another 6.
Nice.
Hey, nicely done.
Okay.
No ones.
No one wanted one.
So you are in charge. So what do you see?
Was Edgar at the council meeting?
Yes.
He was. I noticed that there's a little bit of dirt. The dirt that only comes from my shop. Just lining the outside of his boot.
Okay.
Are you a hiker, Edgar? Go hiking in the woods, do you?
No. I do not. Last time I walked away from this town, a crater fell into it, so I tend to stay pretty close.
Might want to clean your boots. I go and close the door.
He looks down at his boots before you close the door. As it's closing, how long are you gonna hide that body in there?
Why don't you come in and help me? Lock it.
Okay.
Let's take this out now. This body out now. Obviously, this is not something we're hiding, so we shouldn't be hiding it when we're taking it to the mortuary. Let's take it out now. Whoever sees us sees us.
All right.
Let's go.
Cut to the mine entrance. Your father's caught up. He's winded. So, Clarity. Show me what you see.
If we just stand here and listen.
Right. Wait. Clarity, you heard the voices from up here.
Yes, but they're in there. They said they were trapped.
Clarity. The entrance to that crater's a quarter mile below. Under that rock, dirt, earth. For who knows how long. You couldn't have possibly heard their voices from all the way up here.
Perhaps after so long they...
Clarity, it's just not possible.
But I... Father, can you hear it?
I hear nothing, child. What is it?
Listen closer.
Please. We're trapped.
They're saying it. They're saying they're trapped right now.
Clarity. I
What?
hear nothing.
No,
Are you still feeling pain in your stomach?
it's just stress.
In that moment, your eyes roll back in your head
Uh-oh.
and your body goes limp as you fall into a dream. You see all the men lost in the mines, standing before you. And you see a circle of 10 people. You see Jimmy Bobby, Ashley Jewell, Anna Hillary, Emma Ronnie, George Evelyn, Charles Cedar, You see Kelly Hadley, May Jenkins, and you see your father, Shiloh Anah. They stand in a circle. The candles from your room sit between them. Their flames are not yellow or white, a strong pulsing orange. This group of 10 people, almost as if they're aware of your presence, all turn and look at you at once. As the group behind them kind of forms in a line of all the men you once saw the faces of walking through town.
We're trapped. Help. Release us. Only you. Only you. You're special. Just you.
You wake up. Clarity, what's wrong?
I was dizzy. Perhaps there's a leak. I don't know. There's something.
Clarity? You were talking to yourself.
I think I'm just tired.
You were saying names.
A dream? I think I was mistaken. Perhaps I heard them in a dream. It was not real. I'm sorry for worrying you, Father.
Let's go back into town. The meeting should be starting soon. Okay? Okay. I'll do the talking. Remember. So, the three of you have decided to...
Oh, take the body to the mortuary.
Okay, so let's back up there a little
Okay.
bit. So you're grabbing the body.
Yeah.
While we're doing this, I'm gonna.
So first you come back inside and
I
you say
say-
what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is... You want to do what? You want to take the body away from the crime scene.
Zach, do we have a police?
No, they left this town.
Oh,
The constabulary is gone.
here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at dead body. I'm looking at spurs from the cowboys that left, the violent cowboys that left.
No, I believe it was actually Edgar. I have
Edgar?
high reason to believe it was Edgar.
Why would you say that?
Did you not hear?
No, I was hiding in here because you all went out and were making an enemy of somebody who was coming here to get votes, and
He
then
knew the body was here.
The door was open.
So what are you suggesting?
There was dirt on his boot, and
How do you explain the spurs? He's not a cowboy. He's
No.
a general store manager.
indeed, but he probably.
He's probably been inside your blacksmith before to get something for his store.
Did he
The
arrive
dirt was on
today
his-
to get anything?
No.
Reginald, roll.
Oh man, he's really throwing you in the fire here.
I see a 6.
There is 1 6 and 3 1s.
There are 9 hope available.
Wow.
Take
I'm
it,
gonna
take
yeah,
it,
yeah.
take it.
Thank you
All
for the
three.
hope. Wow.
Thank you so
Very generous.
much.
Thank you, thank you.
I'll take all 3.
Yep.
No ones. 1 6.
1 6.
Nicely done.
Okay, so
Okay. You hear a much more stern knock at the door. Reginald?
And I say it in
Reginald?
a hushed tone. I don't suggest hiding the body. It's clear cut.
You see Edgar standing again, now with the rest of the men left in the town. Besides you men here, the only other man you don't see is the preacher in training. About 6 or 7. They're all standing behind Edgar.
Good.
First order of action, I would say, for any democracy is to get rid of the criminals.
I agree, Edgar.
Reginald, you're coming with us.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
What's obviously?
What did he tell you? What did he tell you?
They're all kind of looking at each other. I told them exactly what happened. Myself and Clara Tristan and one of the security men for the company, while the meeting was going on or about to start, noticed your door was open. We walked inside to find a body.
Funny.
Now, we went back to the church, and given the current circumstance, we did not want to alarm anyone, so we came to confront you. And upon trying to confront you, you, with the aid of your friend here, and now it appears the German that you did not know the whereabouts of, are all conspiring to hide this body, with no mention whatsoever of it to myself. That puts you, good sir, as the individual with the murder weapon, the motive to hide the body. I think it's best for everyone if we deal with this in a way that does not alarm the women in town. Like men.
Okay. Well, I suggest a vote because I came with Frederick to Reginald's straight after the meeting. You can talk to Anna Hillary. We met up with her, and we discovered the body.
Discovered.
We discovered the body at that point.
In the blacksmith shop.
Correct.
Yes.
Next to one of his tools.
Correct.
So it is
We
correct.
discovered the body, and then that's when you came.
And when I came, no one bothered opening the door, alarming me in any way.
We
or
don't
shape
like
or
you,
form.
Edgar.
And who are you?
Edgar, we don't like you. That was the only reason. Now, you guys know I am the town doctor. I've looked after all of you. I've looked after your kids, your wives. Now, I can say that this man was killed with my experience from that tool. But it looks like... Hang on, Zach, just to be clear. Did Edgar say he came in with one of the cowboys? Is that what he said?
He did.
Okay.
Now, I want you to remember something before you start speaking. It's what we discussed.
Secrets.
Okay.
Oh
Yep.
no. Can't hear
You wouldn't.
No, I'm faking it because...
You are faking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... Okay, I'm gonna have to make you roll for that probably.
Okay.
Okay, so... Continue.
I'm just saying, we discovered the body.
And please tell me, Doctor, since you're the expert here, how are you so sure that the blacksmith did not kill our dear preacher? Like you said, you haven't been coming to church lately.
Neither have you. Neither has a lot of people.
I've been at church every Sunday. Thanks for asking.
Well, just to let you know, just from my personal experience as town doctor and just, trusted community member, he invited us in to his blacksmith as we were walking to check on his business. He would not do that. A guilty man would not do that.
Sounds like a good way to create an alibi, doesn't it?
You think I'm in cahoots with this, that I'm...
Maybe not willingly, Doctor. I think you're being used.
Regardless, there is a town council meeting where a council will be formed. If such an important matter, I believe should be, we dispose of the body now to the mortuary, taken to the mortuary, and then...
Do you really think alarming the entire town.
No,
of the
I don't.
Murder of our
No.
dear preacher.
I didn't say that.
Minutes
What
after
I'm trying to say
we've
is
been
we
notified
decide.
that our entire lives are going to crumble in front of us
I'm
is such a
saying
good idea.
We decide the outcome of this after the council has been made. We can keep this under wraps now between us men. Dispose of the body, create the council, and then decide Reginald's outcome and future after this, after the meeting.
I will agree to this if and only if we are all in agreement that the blacksmith here will be held in containment until after that meeting is to coincide.
I go ahead and open the large barn doors to allow not just light in, but also so that they can all see.
So you open these barn doors.
Wide open.
Okay. As you do this, one of the people walking by looks, and you hear a scream. As you say this, I need you to roll.
That's a nice dice.
Yeah.
Is it yours?
No.
Okay.
Just like it.
It's only 1-1. So,
1-1.
No sixes.
no sixes.
You have 6 hope available. You could re-roll up to 6 dice.
Do all of it.
I'm going to do all... Yeah, well, at the very least...
Look, just whatever you think you can to roll a 6
5.
is up to you.
I'm going to roll 5.
Okay.
So you're going to get hanged in this very first act, and it's very sad. Oh,
2 sixes.
Okay, go.
Thank you, guys, for the hope.
thank you.
Okay. So, as you do this and a woman screams, the other men, without even order of Edgar, instinctively rush you. As 3 of these individuals come running directly at you, I need you to tell me what happens next.
Goodbye.
Not much of a fighter, but I do put my fists up. I notice an opening, though. I go for that knee. Take him down.
Okay.
There's 3 of them, you said.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the next one. Don't. Stop. I beg you.
Look, stop. Look, enough. You're not helping yourself, Reginald.
At this point, more people are kind of running over and running towards the center. On your way down the mountain, Clarity, you and your father see a commotion in town as people are running towards the outside, the northeast side of town.
Something else is happening now.
Let's make haste, shall we? As he starts moving quickly down the hill, and we go back down here. You've told one of them to stop. I'm going to need you to roll again. As you did take one of them down.
2 sixes.
Okay.
2, 1.
You have 1 hope available.
You could potentially... it just means, like, if you... what you don't re-roll, it's just going to be taking out the dice pool. That's it.
Oh,
So...
I'm going to burn it.
What, are you going to burn or use it?
Use.
Okay, use 1.
Use
Okay.
1.
Okay. So one die is out.
Okay, so
You lose 1. You're now down to 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeesh.
So the rest of them do try to start rushing you as then Edgar steps up. Whoa. Stop.
Yeah.
Everybody calm down. Calm down as people are kind of coming up and you're... What's going on? What happened?
Look, listen. Look,
What happened to
everyone
Father
stay
Devin?
calm. Everyone stay calm.
Is that Father Devitt in there?
We think...
yes, it is.
Look, we think one of... the-
Yes, it is. And
company
this
man.
man killed him.
We
did
don't
not.
know that. We don't know that.
This man was seen on the ground in the blacksmith shop, throat slit with one of his tools on the ground next to him.
Slit, indeed. Exactly. None of my tools are sharp.
Can I just say that I believe that it's one of the company men and his knives, one of the knives that he had on his person at the meeting.
Look at the footprints.
As the town doctor, I say his throat was clearly slit. The weapon isn't here besides a bloody fire poker
You may
that
search
doesn't have a blade.
As you're saying, as the town doctor, you hear from the crowd the sound of your wife's voice. As you hear her just calling out, Henry, are you okay? Henry!
Sarah, Sarah, just stay back. I've got this.
She sees kind of all the commotion and hears, as you're like, as the town doctor, and she kind of steps in front of you and looks at you and gives you a look like, shut the fuck up, and walks over to the body and kind of kneels down and starts
And I'll say,
investigating.
Nurse, do you have anything to add?
This man, Father Devon, she goes up and she whispers to you, it's not a clean slit.
So what is it? What was it? Was it a fire pick or not?
The fire pick or some other sort of
Was it the thing on the ground?
pointed
Sarah?
bludgeon tool. Most likely there's the tear. It's more like a rip or a tear. It's not a clean cut. This is not a sharp
So
object.
you think it was the fire pick, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Go back home.
So please,
Go back home.
I think it's best if I stay here just in case they ask you any more prying questions.
You will be the death of me. On closer inspection, obviously I didn't get down and inspect, but the nurse has, and it was the fire poker. However, just as a character judge of everyone in town, I've been your doctor for so many years. I just ask that we make our judgments, keep our judgment to ourselves, and make the decision after we form the council.
Look, I'm being framed. I swear it.
Just try not to attack anyone else.
I swear to
Reginald.
God.
Okay? Everyone stay calm. How is
Please.
everyone looking now in the town?
They're quite animated
Okay.
at this point and upset. Most of them, the added effect of the news they got today,
Yeah.
and now the passing of the father, is more than most of these people can handle.
Can I suggest we all meet at the church right now together and
just leave the father's body there?
right now, let's decide before anything gets out of hand. Decide what happens, decide the council.
Someone murdered a priest.
We don't know who it was yet. And before we make judgments as a crowd, that's maybe lost some perspective from what's the past events. I'm saying that we create...
Clarity, you and your father run up on the scene. You see all these people huddled around the blacksmith shop, and you start kind of pushing through the front as your father kind of gets left behind a little bit, as there you see, you know, a man who was very much like a grandfather to you. You see Father Devon on the ground, his throat cut.
Ears?
Look, there's no place for it.
Hysterical.
Yeah. Listen. We need to form this council before an angry mob passes judgment on potentially an innocent man.
Why wait? Let's just do it
What
here.
happened here? What's going on? As Shiloh pushes through the crowd. Oh,
Preacher Shiloh.
dear God.
We don't know who did it.
Father.
Preacher Shiloh, I have been framed.
And then you hear Edgar say, Shiloh, did you not leave the gathering earlier saying you were going to find the father? Did you not find him? And Shiloh looks down at you.
I was having nightmares.
What? Stop. As you say that, you see in front of you the father stand up. As you scurry back on your feet, the father raises up in front of you.
Father Devon?
Everyone hears you say this and sees you staring at the body on the ground.
Yes,
As you
God.
watch this man rise, he's got the poker in hand. As he takes it, jabs it into his neck, and starts pulling fiercely as he falls to the ground.
The child is upset. We need to clear the scene and get...
Everyone to the church, please. Make your way to the church.
Clarity, what's wrong? What's wrong? Stop. You're scaring people, Clarity.
He's dead, he's dead, he's dead!
Yes, he's dead.
He's dead. You're scaring people.
Hysterical.
Do not tell them about the nightmares. Let me do the talking.
I want to leave!
I'm trying to usher people to the church now, just trying to... away from the scene, everyone's kind of getting out of hand.
So I instantly kind of snapped my fingers at two of the people that were coming after Reginald, and I just kind of motioned to them to help me get something, like a plank or something to push the body on, and looking for a top to cover him and carry him out.
Okay, I'd say that's something other people instinctively start helping you. And
yeah. Look, I suggest we go to the church and talk about it. There's no point leaving this and waiting on this. Obviously, this has expedited the need for a council and a governing body.
A council? You're speaking of a council now.
What?
In the midst of...
I think that's why it's important. Because we're in the midst of all these events, we need some sort of leadership, organization, administration. And it has to be decided on in a democracy where everyone's happy.
We should leave, Father.
I'm not so sure anymore. Clarity, I'm not so sure. Fear not, everyone. Though I do not understand what God has planned for us, and though God can work in mysterious ways, I do believe we are chosen by God Himself here in Stone Valley. And I have proof. I have proof.
You have proof of what, preacher?
Of the divine.
This is no time for one of your sermons.
Let him speak.
This is a waste of time.
On the morning of the impact, 10 candles appeared on my window. They have not wavered. They have not dropped, but an ounce of wax. For 1 year, they have remained lit. To this day, 10 candles burn uninterrupted. And I believe it's a message from God. I believe God wants us to stand tall and to stay strong for the things that we are being tested with, and that He has great plans for us.
Father.
Yes.
One of the candles went out earlier.
What?
One of the candles went out earlier.
And you choose to tell me of this now?
I did not.
What do you mean a candle went out? Everyone sees him like...
Preacher, what do candles have to do with us at our immediate position and what the town is in with the current news this morning and our need for a council right now?
Are you speaking parable, preacher?
What does candles got to do with it?
I am not speaking parable. I am not speaking of metaphors or tricks or anything. It's a sign of the divine. These candles...
How does this...
I must be honest, though, or it is my duty to do so, that I was just informed by my dear daughter that as of this morning, a candle has gone out.
Who cares?
So there's only 9 magical candles now.
But I believe that is a representation of the Father falling, one of God's servants laying on the ground before us. That's most likely...
Preacher, you need to shut up. Right now, we're deciding that the priest has been murdered. We need to decide what happens. You talking about candles and one going out and 9 candles?
These candles have never faltered. They remain. Do you know of anything that can burn indefinitely other than the sun? Other than God in the sky himself? Do you know of any fire that remains lit eternal?
You are wasting our time talking about candles.
Father, they're not listening. We should tell them.
Tell them what?
We heard.
I heard nothing.
Father,
I heard
you said you believed me.
Speak up, preacher.
These candles. I can show you. For anyone who would like to see. You can watch them for as long as you like. This is no trick. There are no gas lines in this town. We have not received such services yet. These are just merely candles. You can pick them up. I've done so myself. You can move them. You can blow them, and they shall remain lit.
Preacher, for all the people who don't come to your church on Sundays, you want everyone in the town to come to your house right now to see your candles. Is in the middle
this
of
moment of great trial, of great lack of faith, I feel now is a better time than ever.
I want to see them.
Yes.
I think we should also see them as well.
What does the town look like they're doing?
People, when you say this,
Okay.
other people, yeah, what do we have to lose? I mean,
Preacher,
why not?
lead
I'm a
the
bit
way.
curious myself.
Fine.
Unbelievable.
Yes. Clarity, come on. Just
We follow.
let me do the talking.
Clarity looks back one more time at Devon, and backs away from his body, and then walks off with her father.
Show us your magical candles.
So you're all walking through the town. Some people have stayed behind,
Good.
looking at the father. Not everyone.
Okay,
But
yeah.
do you all?
Yeah,
I
yes,
want
yes,
to
I follow.
grab
You have a group of men standing around you. As you go to try to follow, the group of men kind of look as Edgar has stayed behind. No, we're not done with you. The preacher may be distracting them. But you're not going anywhere. We've got to keep an eye on you.
What will it take? What will it take? To prove my innocence, what will it take?
I guess you'll just have to convince me you're innocent.
Convince you. And why you?
It's easy for me to convince everyone else.
I take a look at everyone around. All right.
Just relax. I'm sure this whole charade will be over with soon.
What, are you gonna put manacles on me? Go on then.
Just have a seat.
Do so.
Okay, I'm following. Shiloh.
You three are making the way.
Along the way, I want to grab Henry real quick.
Okay.
So I don't think you understand the severity of the situation. I'm whispering this, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can easily fix that.
Oh, this is
Ah!
I don't know if you understand the severity of the situation we're in right now.
I don't believe we're in any severity from listening and going to. I don't know why you want to see this stupid magical candle. I'm just getting.
I'm not talking about the goddamn candles.
What?
For a doctor, you're rather stupid sometimes.
What? Oh, I look back and I see that people. Oh, yes.
We are in the same situation that Reginald is in.
I'm trying to get him out.
Yeah.
But this loudmouth here is stopping that. I'm trying to get on the council so I can get him.
This loudmouth, you're not getting on any council. You literally said to the one person who's in charge of everything right now that you're going against him.
You're saying that Shiloh is in charge of everything right now. What?
Edgar,
I'm sorry. I said Edgar is what I meant.
Okay, but you're saying that Edgar's in charge of the town?
He's got literally everyone around his finger right now.
I'm not so sure of that, but I don't know.
Sin.
I don't know if everyone is behind him right now.
Okay,
but
just wait here, everyone. I'll go inside and get the candles. Claire, did you think it might be a good idea for you to go inside and lay down and let me handle this?
Father, we have to tell them. We should tell them, no?
Be quiet, child. As he goes inside, and people, you can kind of hear people talking amongst themselves about, just back and forth, and like, yeah, whatever, this is gonna...
I wish someone would listen to me.
He comes back out with the candles. He's holding them up. All 9. One of them unlit. Now, first, I've done this community a disservice. I've done God himself a disservice. I have hid this from you. All of you. For I believe I had little faith that my fellow townsmen would believe in such a divine thing, for how few I have seen the Father's sermons, and I let fear control me, and I will not do that any longer. I want you to look upon this, and I want you to understand that I hold God in my hands, and we are all in the presence of a great power. He takes a candle off. He waves it around. It remains lit. He puts the other candles on the ground. He takes his hand. He places it on top, smushing the top as you see smoke start to billow around his hand. He takes his hand off to reveal a burn mark and a flame that continues. Please, anyone, and I challenge you to watch them, for not an ounce of wax drops from the heat. Does anyone have a match?
Yeah,
Does anyone? Please, sir. Hold it to the wax. As you get the flame close to the wax begins to melt and drip.
See, I told you, it's just a candle.
Why does this flame not burn the wax?
Preacher, I have seen magic tricks like this before when I was younger. You look like a street magician right now.
Take it.
I take the
Hold
candle.
God in your hands. Put it out. It stays lit.
Put it on the upside down on the ground, and I.
As you push it into the dirt, every time you lift it, the light's still lit.
So what? I don't understand what's going, but in the past 2 decades, we have
Clarity.
seen inventions.
Fetch me the pail. Do it!
Okay. I get it. And I bring it back.
He takes the rest of the candles on the stick and just shakes them off into the water.
What does this prove, preacher?
People start flooding around.
Magical candles. What does it prove, though?
They're still lit. They're still lit in the water. They still burn. As you see steam rising off the water as it begins to bubble. And the flame still burns. He starts taking each candle out one by one, revealing to the crowd in the back. They still burn.
Parlor tricks.
For the last year, 10 of these candles burned without waver. Through wind. Through water. And only one went out today when we lost our dear father.
So you're saying 9 more of us are going to die?
No. I'm saying we are chosen. We have a purpose. This town, us. We are God's chosen. But what about our husbands?
What about mine?
No, stop. Just... I believe everything that's happened is all part of God's plan.
And God gave you candles that won't go out.
These are more than just candles. These are eternal flames, you buffoon!
This changes nothing in terms of we need the town organization. Okay, these candles, they don't change
So,
anything.
Upon him saying that everything is a part of God's plan, you can feel the energy of anger coming off some of the women in the back. The widows that make up this town.
Now I suggest you keep quiet and...
No. This is all... You need to understand. You need to have faith that God has a plan for us. That God has a plan for everything that's happening. You have to understand that this is all supposed to happen. And I know that sounds terrible, but God works in mysterious ways. No, the priest wasn't supposed to die. His candle went out. He was a messenger of God. He had faith in his heart. And his death is...
Preacher, it seems like you've been under a lot of pressure. We do need to decide how this town moves forward, and it involves a lot more than candles.
I walk up to one of the candles.
Okay.
And I take it in my hand.
Okay.
Where did these come from? Tell us all the story of how they came, and this will help us understand.
They just
God's plan.
appeared.
I
had no candles, especially of this type, in my home, and I heard the boom in the sky like you all did, and I ran to check on my daughter, and above her were these candles.
What do you make of that?
And then the light came flooding in before we lost all of our brothers.
I'm sure Father Devon was very close to you.
He was close to a lot of people.
Yes, and his death looks like it's been taking its toll on you, and I'm sorry, but...
Do you have any more questions about these candles?
Do you?
I want to understand and make sure that I'm hearing you 100% correct. These candles appeared the day of the Great Impact, and they were floating above...
No, not floating. Resting. Standing.
In your daughter's room.
Your daughter.
On the windowsill.
On the windowsill.
Above her bed.
And were you there?
Was the window open?
I can speak for my daughter.
Was the window open on the windowsill? Did someone place...
The window was not open.
Gave you these candles?
You think some mere peasant would reach into my daughter's room unnoticed?
I believe that more than them
just
appearing
moments,
out of
just
thin
moments,
air.
Moments before the boom in the sky, and then those candles stay lit forever, unwavering.
I can't explain the candles, but
I want to hear you say it. I want you to say everything that he is saying, if you truly saw it.
Please, clarity. Tell us what's going on with your father. It's very clear that he has lost grasp of reality.
You don't have to talk with him.
I would like to hear her say it.
Tell us the truth. What is going on with your father?
The man is still trapped in the mine.
No, Clarity, that is not...
The whole family. Do you see what he's done to the girl?
No,
What?
no, it's true.
What?
He's
What
feeding
did she
her.
say?
No, it's true.
What
I
did
heard
she
them.
just say?
She said that
need
they were
help,
the
they're
men.
trapped.
No, Clarity, stop.
She said the men were still trapped.
No, she does not.
1 year after. Now, what have you been
That's-
putting into her mind? Corrupting her.
She has had a very hard day. Father was very close to her, and she's just taking this.
I've heard enough.
Someone
It seems
murdered
that
him.
both of this family has lost some grip on reality, and I don't blame
Yes,
them with what has
Clarity,
happened.
someone murdered him. Yes, I do.
We're murdering those people by not helping them.
They're dead,
Why won't you tell
sweetheart.
them?
They're dead.
I heard
Why is she
them.
saying there's someone still in the mine?
I heard
What do you mean you heard them?
I heard their voices. They asked for help. They said they were trapped.
You heard them.
One of the women takes off her shoe and starts running through the crowd.
I
and is
get in
going
between.
like,
I get in between them. Look, calm. Look, we need to stay calm, and that's why I was suggesting we got sidetracked. Okay, there's a potentially innocent man back at the blacksmith. There's a murdered man. We need to decide what's going on, and we have been distracted. Okay.
Who says it says men inside the mind?
No, she.
I heard them. I am not insane.
The woman that you're holding back with the shoe is just now like trying to lash out and just.
I do not mean to hurt you.
Darling.
It is not poison. It is
Keep
truth.
quiet. There's no way you could have heard these men. It's been a year since it happened. There's no way these men could have survived. And you know this too, Frederick, okay? I know you lost many close people to you, but sorry, and I'm saying that to the woman as well. I'm so sorry. Okay? Now please don't take it out on the girl. She has had a poor influence of a father.
So a woman walks through the crowd. May Jenkins. May works at the local library. Now that the company men have left, she knows that there's not much time left for her business, and her husband was lost in the mines. She's very calm as she walks forward, and she kneels down next to you.
But Clarity sees her face and remembers the vision she had, and she's frozen. Oh my god.
Clarity, dear. You remember my husband was in the mines. You know how much hurt it could cause to say things.
I want to go to bed.
Clarity.
I want to do.
Shh. She places her hand on your shoulder to try to calm you. What makes you say something like you just said?
No one would listen. No one listens to us.
Listens to who?
Any woman.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'm telling you the truth. I promise.
My husband's dead.
I heard something.
No man could survive a year in a mine.
I heard it. They said they were trapped. We cannot leave them if they are trapped. I was awake. I was not dreaming.
You believe you hear the voices of the dead. What
If
else?
they're dead, why would they? I don't.
What else do you see, Clarity? Enlighten me.
Nothing.
Nothing? Only the voices of the dead, but nothing else?
Not dead voices. I must be having nightmares. It's not real.
What
I don't
kind
want
of
to talk about
nightmares?
this anymore.
What are your nightmares of, Clarity?
Father, I want to leave.
Now, just leave my daughter alone, okay? She's very obviously stressed about the father's passing, and he kind of leans in and tries to push her up. And as he does that, she never loses eye contact with you as she's being pushed away, kind of back into the crowd by Shiloh. She just kind of stays locked on you as he then turns and kind of lifts you back up and is holding you underneath. Now, she has nothing to do with the candles, okay? She's very stressed. She probably heard wind coming out of the mines from the crater.
So she was at the mines.
Yes. Yes, I was there with her earlier today, and it was just the wind. It was just the wind.
Today?
Yes.
The same day that your magical candle disappears, or goes out.
The day that the father died. Yes. Do you doubt these candles? Do any of you doubt these
We
candles?
don't understand why they won't go out.
It'd be good
But-
if everyone cleared the room. She needs some fresh air. This is a trying day for everyone, and I try to usher everyone out besides myself.
And this is, you guys are actually outside.
Oh, great.
In front of the house, so you're kind of ushering away.
Great.
We're going to cut back to the men with you in the chair. So,
Sister,
if I am to believe you, what I came upon was someone else's doing. Someone else came into your shop with a key, I might add. No sign of breaking in. And used your tools and carried the father in here against his will, and nobody saw this happen. Murdered him to frame you, set you up.
Yes.
And why would someone do that to you? What kind of secrets does a man have to drive someone to frame them for such a thing?
I hold no secrets.
No secrets. You owe us a flashback right now. So this is a chance for you to do a little flashback in time of something you're not sharing about your past. And this is not something they would know about. This is just you, flashback.
Okay. About 3 years prior, working in my shop, Father Devin rolls up, barn doors are open. Currently working on a set of mining equipment. But the mining equipment was flawed. I was rushed. I knew this, but they had already paid me. And upon seeing the father, I immediately grabbed one of the extra set of keys that I had given him, or about to give him. Keep this safe, in case you need it. I'm on my way down to the mine shaft to deliver these goods here.
So you're worried that that might not go well for you because you were handing them a faulty product. And given that everything turned out okay, you assume that they must not have realized that it was you that gave them the faulty product, or when they failed, it was not of your blame. Okay? So, so what would someone have against you? What kind of secrets does a man like you harbor? Come on, Reginald, work with me here. I'm trying to
Alright.
clear your name. I'm trying to live in a world right now where you're an innocent man.
I can't. Okay, wait, no, wait. Alright. I recall years ago I was commissioned. I was commissioned to
Get to the point.
I make a lot of the tools in this mining town, you know that.
Yeah. That's literally your job.
Yeah. Well, not all the time do I have ample amount of time
Okay.
to create all the necessary equipment in the assembly. I may have rushed a few things.
You make faulty equipment for the mines.
I have made faulty equipment. I don't do that anymore. I figured out now to give myself ample amount of time so that I can get all the things in order, but...
He stands up. He turns his back to you. He looks... You don't see who he's looking at, but you see his head kind of tilted up, and you see a man from across the room kind of like biting out his lip. And you see him give that man a nod, and then that individual just runs up and hits you in the face. So...
Well, I didn't have any blood on me before this.
You know, I think that's a pretty good reason to believe why you might have some enemies out there. The amount of accidents that happen in the mines. I think it could be a result of your craftsmanship. Somebody find you out? Was it the good father here that found out?
He was there, yes.
So the father knew of your faulty work, and then he ends up dead on your floor. And the company left town. Seems like you'd be scot-free for anyone to know
Right.
how bad you are at your job. All the pieces out of the way. You know, I know you were sitting here trying to give me a reason to believe you didn't do this, but in fact, seems like quite the opposite, doesn't it? Can you roll for me?
Ooh.
I see a 6, I see 2 6s, I see 3 6s, 4 6s.
No ones?
No ones.
No.
Convince me otherwise. Right now. You've got 2 minutes.
Look at the body. Just look at it. There doesn't seem to be any struggle. Look at the amount of blood from this accident. Surely I would have been covered head to toe with it. Especially if I used the poker. Yet it's only on the preacher. Hold down his uniform. On his hands. Nowhere else in this shop. And again, before you hit me, there wasn't any on me. You can look. Search. Search for any dried blood. Look!
Stand up.
I do so.
Arms out. He starts inspecting you, walking around you, and moving your clothes off to the side. He stands up in front of you tall. Now look, Reginald, I know you've never caused any problems in this town. And then he stops mid-sentence. Freezes.
What?
Edgar! Hey, Edgar! One of the other men from across the room as his body...
What?
as he falls backwards, hitting the ground with a loud thud. As dust pushes out from the ground around him. His body stiff, looking up. Back where you're moving people around, pushing them out of the way,
Fuck, dude.
clearing everyone out. You're still holding some of the candles, correct? Because you were inspecting one?
Yes, this is true.
The candle you're holding
Oh.
goes out. You stop. Do you say anything?
I want to make sure that everyone else continues to leave the
Oh,
preacher
have
in
we-
training's house.
Has everyone left?
He was pushing people away.
And
Okay, so people are still around and could potentially
little.
see the candle go out.
Maybe.
I'm going to quickly try to hide the candles in,
Okay. So you're just...
and I want to go back to the preacher's house.
Okay, so you go into the preacher's house and do you say anything? What do you do?
Oh yeah, so I go in. Shiloh, I have one question that I want to ask.
Okay.
You said,
Yes.
this is very important,
Yes.
one of these candles went out, and you said that
It's most likely because the father died, a man of God.
so can you explain this to me?
Father?
What did you do?
I
does
did
it
nothing. You
mean?
said it yourself, they burn forever bright. And yet, what does this mean?
A candle goes out.
Switch on the bottom.
Oh, so good.
We have some truths.
Oh. Oh.
Feeling. Henry is attracted to Frederick.
Okay.
His forethought to try to get supplies, gathered and locked down.
Sorry, what was that last one?
You were attracted to
Yeah.
him and the fact that he was wanting to get your supplies and everything locked down. Like, he was concerned for your well-being.
Okay.
Feeling. Clarity has never trusted the men in this town. She was taught at a very young age that others would be there for her, but it wouldn't be the men. Maybe deceiving them is simply the best way to survive.
Ooh, I love it. Thank you.
Feeling. Frederick feels less and less like council will work for the town. He doesn't think the people can do it. It needs someone to run it with a firm hand and to have complete control. Maybe the right person would be himself. And we begin Chapter 3. You stand before now 2 dead bodies. As the men around you, what did you do?
What do you mean? What I do? You all saw him.
He walked around you and then he's on the ground dead. What did you do?
You all saw it.
Somebody leans out. Hey, help! Somebody help! Get the doctor over here.
Yeah, I don't go to the body.
Edgar fell down. Somebody get the doctor. You hear someone yelling throughout the town for the doctor, and
How far is my house
I
from
know
here?
where he is.
How far is my nurse?
I mean, she's still with you. She
Oh,
did
okay.
not leave.
Okay.
Sarah did not leave.
Okay, so I rush over. Sarah and I rush over to the bodies.
Okay.
I also attempt to see if I can walk away and run after for the doctor to see if the townspeople are not
That's
going
kind
to.
of crazy enough. You get up and you start to move. One of the men does try to chase after you. I need you to roll. You only have 8 candles, or 8 dice.
Yeah, since that's good. Because I took one out because I lost it.
Oh yeah, 8. Yeah, so
Yep.
that's 7.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
So you should
8
have-
total.
So there you go. Do you
Oh,
need
8?
8?
Oh,
I got it.
Cool.
Cool.
Wow.
My dude.
Ah.
What is it?
That's 2 1s.
No sense.
And no 6s? You have 3 hope available. I suggest you use all 3
Yeah, why not?
at the end here.
Yeah. All 3. 1 6 1 1.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So
We can lose a die if you want.
Mm-hmm.
you have no hope available.
Yeah.
The 1 6. He tries to run after you, but the crowd running over kind of stops him. As you push through and move the other direction, some people definitely look at you and debate for that moment whether or not, you look like you're running from the scene of a crime, basically, and that they will remember that. What are you doing?
I shake off and I'm getting the doctor. Can't you see he might have fainted? There might be still time.
As you're running, okay. Whether or not they believe you is up for grabs. So you see him running towards you through the town.
Yeah.
And you run up
And
to him.
okay, yeah, and am I up to the scene or not? Yeah. The scene.
He's running up to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Doctor, please come to the shop. Edgar has fallen.
Nurse. And I get
Booking.
Yeah, and we
Nurse,
Sorry, darling. I'm so sorry, Sarah.
what seems to be the problem?
Edgar has fallen.
What do you mean fallen?
Edgar
He
just
fainted, but he's not moving. He's not
Okay,
responding.
well, let's go. Let's go.
Please.
Let's
yes, yeah,
Go,
let's go.
follow me,
Let's go,
follow me.
and we
Alright,
run after.
Cut back to the house. You have stayed, and you're standing there in front of Shiloh and his daughter with the candle that is now out. You hear the screams outside. Someone else, a man of God, has died.
Father, I need to speak to you.
No, not now.
Father, it's important.
Clarity,
I think she should say what she has on her mind to everyone.
you will not speak to my daughter of what she should say.
There are 10 and now there are 8. It's counting down, Father.
Yes, I'm aware. That is God sending a message. We need to...
Father, I need to be honest with you.
Clarity,
I haven't been honest with you because I haven't trusted you. I found your suitcase. I found all the stuff in it. You were packed up and ready to go.
No,
You were going to leave me here and...
no, I was not going to leave you.
Listen. I saw this happen. Before it happened.
No, no, you know not what you say, Clarity.
I do know! You must listen! Something came here. I had a dream. I was full of pain and fear, and I was floating without a body, just within the stars. I didn't understand, but I saw this thing. It was glowing and it was on fire, and I felt such fear looking at it. And it was coming here. And then the impact happened. I thought it was just a nightmare, but no. Something's going on here, and you must listen.
Shiloh is not looking at you anymore. He's looking at Frederick and watching Frederick's reaction to all of this information and wondering what Frederick might do. As you stop talking. Now, Clarity, you know, she knows not what she says. She's very stressed. It's been a very stressful day. I believe these candles are a message from God. God himself. And
Father,
this is the first I've heard of this. She's just speaking.
I do not think this is holy, and I do not think the people here are all good. Father, earlier, when we were there, and I saw something. It was down in the mines. It was people here.
You just fainted because you ran up the mountain. You were tired and you
What
fainted.
did you see? Let her speak!
I saw people from the village. They were in the mine. I thought I could hear the miners calling out to me, but...
As she's talking, Shiloh kind of exits the room with his hands on his head, just...
Everyone's going to think I'm crazy and they're going to want me killed, but... Something bad is going to happen.
Something bad has already happened.
Worse. Worse than this. This won't matter soon. I don't know what to do. My
You
father
hear the
thinks
sound
I'm
of
crazy. Everyone thinks I'm crazy.
As he comes out from around the corner with the shotgun.
He got his suitcase.
Frederick, you need to leave.
Father, what are you doing? He believes me, right?
I do.
That...
Father, you have to put that down. That is
If
not
he
what-
believes you, that is the first of our problems.
I think that there is something going on here that's greater than all of us. If anything, that's the closest that you and I have
You-
seen eye to eye in quite some time.
You will speak nothing of this to anyone.
But I will leave. But I
You will speak nothing of this.
I believe you.
I saw May.
You saw who?
Nothing. I don't know.
What do you mean you saw? Who else did you see?
A lot of people. I don't know who's good, who's bad.
Who else did you
I
see?
don't know who's
Clarity.
holy and evil. What am I? Am I good? Am I bad? Am I broken?
Who did you see?
I saw Jimmy and Ashley and Charles and Kelly and May and you, Father.
Me.
Well, this is quite an interesting change of events.
Puts the shotgun on his shoulder. What were we doing? What did you see?
Candles.
Candles.
Yes.
And what else?
The people. In the mine. And they... Father, I felt like they saw me too. I'm not crazy, but something's wrong.
We'll speak of this later. You need to leave. Out.
Be careful.
Go.
Be careful.
Just go. This is my home.
This is your home, and I'm going to leave, but I want to just leave you with this last thought. This truly is the will of the Lord, and those who are, as you say, burn with a fire for him, why would he be the one that is ending their lives?
That is the work of man.
So it isn't God's plan.
We have to follow his plan. We have to have faith. Know that we're doing the right thing. Get out.
I believe you.
You exit the house. Clarity.
Yes, Father.
I need you to stay here. If anyone tries to come into the house and he hands you the gun,
Father, I have not needed
I
to
would have never left you.
Why did you pack that bag?
It was for both of us. Just in case. I thought maybe after your mother died.
Father, you don't know what's going on here, do you? I saw you.
I am going to grab the other 9. I will bring them to you and you will tell them what you saw.
I don't want to do that. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know what...
Your thoughts are out there now. And I could not guarantee that Frederick would tell no one unless I killed him, and I'm not going to do that. So we need to get in front of this. You'll tell them what you saw.
I want to speak to May first.
Okay.
Just her.
Okay. And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
I have such a headache.
I would love to sit here and talk about all sorts of stuff, but I ran a little long, and I don't want to mess with the next show, so we're going to call it.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for your contributions.
Join us again next week.
Join us, come back
Yes.
next week to continue this crazy story. And coming up next is Perception Check Star Trek version with special guest Malika Lim.
That's awesome.
So stick around.
Take
It's going to be a lot of
care.
fun.
Thanks, everybody.
Chunks GMing. It's going to be a blast. Don't go anywhere. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Amazing.
See ya.
Thank you for the
Thank
hope.
you to our special guest. Come back next
Yeah.
Monday. Be back next Monday. Bye.
Bye.